Alright, so bit of an embarrassing confession, I guess. A couple projects ago I made a teak kitchen set, which was a charcuterie board, a cutting board, a spoon, and spatula. Now towards the end of the video I was kind of worried about the strength of the utensils because the glue up joints ran to the width instead of the length, and because they were made up of multiple pieces I was worried that those joints would be weak spots, and let's just say they didn't last that long. The family member I gave it to sent me photos of it broken, so as embarrassing as it is, I want to do the right thing and do what I should have done to begin with and make the utensils out of a solid piece of wood. I don't want to do multiple pieces, try to make it look cool. I want it to work. So I figured with the amount of scrap cherry I've got left over that what I could do is the same thing I did before, except out of cherry, out of a solid piece. Trace them out, make the shapes again, which I know it's kind of cheating because I'm copying these, but that's what I did for the last project. She really liked the size of them, so I'm going to stick to the same shape. I'm going to make it out of one solid piece instead, so it's stronger. That and cherry's food safe, so cherry's a good choice. And then on top of that, as a little extra, what I'm going to do is I have this extra rough cut piece of cherry. I'm going to make a spoon rest somewhere out of the middle. And yeah, so a bit embarrassing, but it's one of those things where I'm new to woodworking, so I'm not going to beat myself up over it too much. It's just a learn as you go kind of thing. So that's what this project's going to be. So like I mentioned before, I'll start by tracing out the shape of each utensil. For the spoon rest, I traced out the head of the spoon and then added roughly a ½ inch to the diameter of what I traced. With everything traced, I can now cut the stencils to length. With the utensils cut to their rough length, I can now switch over to the jigsaw. When making these cuts, I gave myself a buffer space of around ¼ inch. That way I could sand down the material to get a more accurate shape instead of sanding the pieces too thin. These are definitely not the smoothest cuts, but the belt and disc sander will help clean these up no problem. I use the belt sander to slowly work the material down to the outline. The paper on the sander was getting pretty gunked up, so I had to replace the paper real quick. There we go. After replacing the belt and disc paper, I continued shaping out the utensils and spoon rest. Now I can bring them inside to round over with a rasp. So I didn't really think this through entirely. I had paused using the rasps to shape the bottom because I realized that I still need to remove material from the top of the spoon. And if I shape the bottom and remove material from the sides, it's going to make it very hard to clamp down evenly. And if I'm removing material, I'm more likely to blow through the side if I've already removed a good amount of material. So I'm going to pause shaping the bottom, and I'm going to worry about carving out the inside first. I picked up some cheap carving chisels from Harbor Freight. Now I've never used carving chisels before, so I tested them out on a scrap piece to get a feel for them. I did my best to sharpen these with a whetstone, but let me know in the comments if you know of a good way to sharpen these guys. After practicing, I began working on the spoon, removing little by little of the recess of the spoon. While the chisels took some getting used to, I did appreciate how much time they saved and how accurately I could remove material. And here's the shape of the spoon so far. It's definitely rough, but I'll come back and clean this up more as I shape the rest of the spoon. I then moved on to the spoon rest, using the same method as the spoon head. The clamps did a decent job of holding down the utensils, but I'll definitely need to invest in a workbench vise and some bench dogs. With the rough shape carved out of the spoon and the spoon rest, I began shaping the rest of the spoon. I wanted to shape out the spoon to help give a better idea of how deep I can make the recess of the spoon head. I'm kind of eyeballing it, so this should hopefully help. I also started to shape out the handle of the spoon with the rasp and some sandpaper. For the sandpaper, I'm using 120 grit. Once the bottom was shaped out, I had a better gauge of how deep to carve to the recess of the spoon, so I went back and carved out some more material. Time to finish cleaning up the handle. I pretty much used a variety of rasps to aggressively chamfer the top, and then sand it round. The order that I'm doing this is probably completely wrong. It'd be a lot easier down the road when I have to do this again, if I do it again. I'm not going to shape the head first. I'm going to shape the handle, get a nice round handle, so that way this part's flat and I can clamp it down and it'd be a lot easier to work with. Because right now I got to be super careful not to clamp down too hard. And then at the same time, I got to make sure I'm not putting too much weight on the handle so that way it breaks. So, yeah, just a part of the learning process, I guess. The person I gave the previous utensils to said she really liked the squared sides of the handle and that it made them easier to work with as opposed to rounded handles. Because of this, I will not make the handles fully round. With the utensils all roughly shaped, I can now clean them up with a mixture of orbital sanding and hand sanding. I ended up changing my mind on the sides of the spoon rest. The thick walls only really fit these particular utensils, and I wanted to be more universal. So I decided to shape out the entire inside of the spoon rest to make it more accommodating for other utensil sizes. Funny enough, the sander died just as I was finishing sanding. I couldn't have timed that better. With everything sanded, I can now square up the bottom of the handles. And begin water popping the pieces. As mentioned in previous projects, spraying pieces with a little bit of water helps raise the grain before you final sand. That way the final sand produces a more smooth and even result. I then wiped off the excess water and let the pieces fully dry. A little under an hour later, I came back and switched over to 400 grit paper to use for the final sand. I sanded all the pieces smooth with a sanding sponge as well as just using the sandpaper itself. Before the oil though, I'll brand my logo on the bottom of the spoon rest. Wrong way. Alright, let's hope I got it hot enough. Perfect. I then cleaned up the logo with the same 400 grit paper. And now the pieces are ready to be oiled. Like the kitchen set, I'll be using Howard food grade oil and conditioner to finish these pieces. First I'll apply the oil. Looking back, I probably should have used a rag for applying these, but my hands worked just fine for the time being. Time to let these cure for an hour and then apply the conditioner. After an hour, I wiped off any excess oil with a paper towel and then applied the conditioner. These Howard oil and conditioners work really well at protecting the surface of the wood. I also like the natural colors they bring out of the wood. I'll link these down in the description if you're interested in picking some up. Time to let these cure for a little while. A little under 2 hours later, I came back and wiped off all the excess with a paper towel. And just like that, the utensil set was done.
Overall, this was a fun project that got me to try some new chisels and get some more experience in. I really like the natural color of the cherry, and since they're all solid pieces, they should hold up for a while. Different from the first attempt, I rounded out the bottom of the spatula to help get more leverage when in use. This should hopefully make it easier to use. One thing I'll have to continue working on is getting cleaner recesses in the material I remove. There are a few small spots that I could have done a better job sanding and rounding out on both the spoon and the spoon rest. Thank you for watching. A full list of materials and tools used will be listed in the description below if you're interested. Please let me know in the comments if you have any woodworking advice or cool ideas I should try for a future project. Thank you.